Here we go!
Get that last no-scope kill and hit pause. It's time for the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well. The console wars don't exist. Rings are just as valuable as coins. Pots are not safe from swords. Giant robots kick ass. And fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. That's right, it's time for the Super Gamer Bros Podcast Ultra Hyper Alpha Super EX Double Impact Plus A Live. Settle in and let's get to gaming.
Hey everyone, welcome to Super Gamer Bros Live. It's Thursday, which means we're going to talk video games and have fun with you guys. Welcome to the show, everyone. We are live like we are most weeks, unless some catastrophe happens and I get sick, or Cynic gets sick, or Pocky gets sick.
But we keep trucking if we can.
I'm the only one who hasn't got sick. I'm like, you got sick, Cynic got sick, and I'm just sitting here.
Well, if I were a jerk, I'd really hope for it. But no, I hope you stay in good health. And keep that trend going, man, because it's no fun.
So we had
I have to worry about a wife who's been compromised also. So
we had a few technical issues getting the show started today, but it's going to go on. We're going to have lots of fun. I'm one of your gamers, Slayton. You can find me on Xbox as Slayton pretty much all the time. And as usual, I'm joined by Cynic.
I'm Cynic. Hello. You can find me on Xbox, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. For those on Henzar, Henzar on those, except for the Switch, which I am Cynic. I know it's confusing. Let's move on.
And Pocky.
I'm Pocky. I will be on Xbox on the PC in the near future. From a news story I'm going to be talking about in apparently 3 weeks. Because I would have changed my news story this week then. I'm Neo Nerd Lady on Xbox. Because I misunderstood you.
Yeah, because we missed, 2 weweeks?
We missed 2 weeks, and you said we're going to continue on.
I said just continue on the list with the next one up. And
just keep going.
I misunderstood that as in we're just skipping what we missed and then keep going on.
I'll go and fix the calendar. How's that sound?
All right.
So, quick recap of the week, what we've been doing. I did get my Xbox pre-ordered in that entire fiasco on Tuesday. I don't know if you guys were part of that.
No, I have no money. I have no cash.
I wasn't, but I saw you posting that apparently GameStop gave you a bit of trouble, did they?
So, as I was on GameStop's site ahead of time, I was already logged in, ready to go. They had that countdown going. As soon as it hit 0, nothing happened, so I hit refresh, and the site had crashed. All the sites with fucking pre-orders had crashed. Microsoft, everything was crashed. And so, after a couple refreshes, GameStop pulled the wool over people's eyes. And they kicked them basically out of the site into a virtual queue and told you don't refresh or you lose your place in line. But after 30 minutes, people were realizing they're not on the site. They're on a site that's refreshing every 30 seconds to keep you there until there's a way for you to go in.
What?
So I was there for 45 fucking minutes, right?
Oh, okay.
I get in there. Of course, they have their stupid overpriced bundles. I see my Series X. I get it on my cart. Everything's fine. I go to check out. It wants me to log in again. So I was like, okay, log in again. Crash.
Wow.
Everything's gone. Everything's crashed. It crashed 3 times.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of wait to see if there are going to be some special deals that start to come along with the Xbox One as it comes closer to release time. But I mean, it's right around the corner. It's only a month away.
And then
I'm just gonna do the $25 a month bundle.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, well, Amazon had already apparently sold out. Everything was going crazy, so I just went back to Amazon. They were smart. They were the smartest ones because they didn't release it at launch time. They waited an hour. So I went to Amazon, 2 clicks, reserved, done. No problems, no crashing. They were smart. Let's let everyone go crash these other websites because Amazon did crash too. It kept getting those stupid dog pictures. I don't know whose idea that was to just show the dog picture when the sites crashed, but that's dumb.
It's brilliant.
So
it soothes the nerves,
it had done that for 45 minutes. So I didn't even think about it. So I just went and on a whim, because I was just playing the Fate game. If I got it, I got it. If I didn't, I didn't.
Yeah.
Went to Amazon, right there, no problem. Done.
All right. Well, that's
so there was
crazy.
other Xbox news we're going to talk about later. But
that kind of reminds me of The Force Awakens there. That's the last experience I had with just consumer demand being way too high and traffic being way too high. So I'm glad to hear that Xbox is having trouble. It's kind of a good sign that it's going to have a pretty good base.
Let's be very honest. They broke the internet the day before with their big announcement. So
yeah.
The big thing was, and this is not my news story, but this is something that happened. But Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, and we'll talk about this completely next week. But right now, one of the real smart things Microsoft did was they mentioned that they are having trouble with entering the Japanese market, and they started with every major producer or head of studios saying we support Xbox. Like SNK said it. SNK announced also they're putting on Games Pass apparently the new Samurai Showdown game. But like SNK, Capcom, Squaresoft, not Kojima, the guy who made let's say all these people are saying we will back Microsoft because I think they realize that Game Pass is going to be what gets people their titles.
Yeah.
All right, so Cynic, what did you do this week?
Well, this week, and I'll be talking about it a little bit later. As far as gaming-wise, I've kind of started jumping onto kind of some older titles, and I'll talk about some of that stuff a little later. I've been consistently playing Ghosts of Tsushima, which we'll talk about later, but I've also been jumping on like Ninja Gaiden and Dragon Age, and so there's a couple titles that I jumped onto and just kind of revisited for fun. And when I thought about jumping into them again, when you think about kind of the graphical gap between everything, you go, you know what, am I going to have as good of an experience as I did back then? I don't know, but we're just hanging out, have a little extra time on the hands, so let's try them out. And so I'll go on a little bit more of a rant about that later. But yeah, I've been trying some older stuff, and the big news story was kind of handed to me on a silver platter. So we'll definitely talk about Bethesda and Microsoft in a minute, because that's
our third news story tonight.
That's massive. That's huge.
All right, Cassandra Pocky, let's hear it. What's you got?
This week I've actually started going back into speaking of going back into old titles, I've been playing more Monster Hunter. I finally defeated the 3 Elder Dragons they throw at you in a row. I mean, not literally in a row, because Monster Hunter is not that cruel of a system yet.
Yeah.
But basically, to progress the story to the next part, you have to beat 3 Elder Dragons. One of them whose mere presence can eat away your life total because it's made of blight.
Mm-hmm.
I was live streaming that, and I've been playing a lot of Tetris 99 recently. It's free on Twitch.
It's really fun, isn't it?
It's really addictive. You lose, you're like, F it, back in. Because they just put that on option. My only complaint is I do need to kind of buy some stuff. I do need to buy the paid-for version of it, I guess, because it allows you the CPU and the multiplayer, so Courtney and I can play together. But other than that, yesterday they allowed Disgaea 5 to be played for a week for free because they're about to release 6, and so it's like, hey, sure, I'll play 6. I'm hoping they basically keep it free after a while. I think this is Nintendo stretching out their idea of free games, doing it Nintendo style.
Yeah, they might be testing the waters, since Microsoft is kind of blowing everybody out of the water with that.
Well, so is Sony. All of their competitors give people free games.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's the only one. Their idea of free games is giving me bubble boppers on Super Nintendo,
or giving you a free game when you buy a $60 game. Hey, here's Bayonetta 1. Oh, you Bayonetta 2 people. There you go.
To be fair, that Bayonetta 1 was actually a little bit graphically improved. So,
well, I think it also get costume pieces where you got. I think they had a Zelda costume and a Metroid costume and stuff like that, and they had an R-wing shooter area. So, I mean, Yeah, they definitely Nintendo'd Bayonetta up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Give me her Fox McCloud outfit. So she had fox ears and a tail.
Exactly.
All right, with that, let's get this show started. So we get every week with our questions of the week, and this week is what game has the best music? And I don't remember who came up with this. I think Pocky came up with this question.
Yeah,
I had to say I will not say Space Channel 5. So that is off the table. So you'll have to.
I'm very surprised.
I'm very also proud of you, sir. So.
So since it's your question, you get to start. What do you think has the best video game music?
I mean, I don't want to say Final Fantasy because all of them. I mean, they make orchestras out of this thing, but I gotta have to say I love it. Final Fantasy, like no matter which iteration, they always get some really great music when they transferred their composers to the new one for Final Fantasy X. I mean, he added more rock, a little bit more heavier to it, but like it's Final Fantasy. Like it is in my opinion, the epitome of game music. Like even back on the NES. Like thinking of that game music.
Cynic?
Well, I'm going to have to go with, and it may have been Pocky's and it may have been mine because I know when I threw this out there, I was like, all right, I'm going to throw this question out there and I know the right answer. And the right answer is Killer Instinct. Because if you've never heard the original Killer Instinct soundtrack, it was by Rare. And so back in the day, Rare had a reputation for having great music. You know, for they had Donkey Kong Country and stuff like that. So a lot of Rare properties, GoldenEye, lot of Rare properties had great music. So the original Killer Instinct had some great jams, great enough to that they actually put a CD into the Super Nintendo release of it. And it's like, I mean, it's video game music, so it's like whatever on a CD. So Killer Instinct 2 kind of followed up on that same level, but Killer Instinct 3 brought in Mick Gordon before we knew who Mick Gordon was. Of course, Mick Gordon went on to do Doom, which is a heavy metal soundtrack, one of the best heavy metal soundtracks for any game ever. But his tracks for Killer Instinct, where he had to remaster, remake, and do a lot of tweaking to some of the older tunes in order to kind of update them, and then kind of make his own. So one of my favorite game songs of all time is the Cinder stage. The Cinder is a character who's like covered in flames, and he's just got one of the best classic metal mixed with kind of like thrash and heavy. It's very melodic. It's crazy. Mick Gordon just makes the best landscape of music. So I go back on my free time and listen to the Cinder soundtrack. And there's lots of other stuff, like the Glacius soundtrack has some metal mixed with dubstep and an orchestra. And I don't typically like dubstep as a genre. I don't mind it being thrown into a song for some, just to pump it up a little bit. But the Glacius sound, the Glacius stage is amazing. The Thunder stage is amazing. And Fulgore's stage is full on like Fear Factory inspired speed metal, like industrial speed metal. And so, I mean, he does a lot more than just metal in these soundtracks, but the best songs most certainly are, and most of them are pretty heavy inspired. So if you haven't heard the Killer Instinct soundtrack, it's the only game soundtrack that I still regularly go to and listen to. And that's, mind you, the Killer Instinct soundtrack for the 2013 release. It is fantastic.
I have to agree with you. It's a good soundtrack, but it's not as good as Bust a Groove from the PlayStation, that rhythm dancing game. That game had an amazing soundtrack. We used to play the crap out of that game, especially late at night when we were really tired, because it's a rhythm game. You push buttons and dance, and it had crazy characters. Mine was Kitty In. So when you knew that Kitty In song was coming on, everybody knew it's about to get real, because I'm going to get down and beat your ass. I will listen to that. It's on my playlist, and it was great because there's the Japanese version and the English version, so you can listen to whatever you wanted to. I thought that was a really fun touch, but it's the craziest collection of music, and it's so catchy because it's made for dancing gaming. It's like just like Dance Dance Revolution. Those weird remixes are always fun, but this was all completely original music.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked this one over Dance Dance, because I happen to like dubstep. I like electronic music. I like remixes, and I like fun, upbeat stuff. And man, the music from the Groove.
Don't get me wrong. I like that stuff, but if it's fine to throw a little bit of like a dubstep groove into a song, but when you take that little what's a very cool piece of a song and then you make a whole genre out of it, that makes my head hurt. So that, but I'll have to check out your.
I will send you the Kitty Ian song.
Send me the links because I don't think I've even ever heard of this game.
I've heard of it. I actually own that soundtrack.
It's an amazing. You know what I'm talking about, Kitty Ian. When that song came on, Eric and Josh knew we might as well put the fucking controller down. We're not winning. Because I had the buttons that went down. Because it was funny, because the better you did, the more the camera went to you, and you could do special moves to try to knock up the other person, or they could try to counter it with it. Like it was fun. It was just stupid fun.
It does sound fun. That does remind me, because as you're playing Killer Instinct, and you won't experience this when you're just listening to the soundtrack, but as you're playing, depending on who's winning, if there's a combo breaker, if someone gets momentum, if someone does a super move, the music actually changes, and it mixes really well into the landscape of the whole battle. So that I forgot about that detail. So that kind of reminded me.
All right, well, let's go ahead and just get this first news story started, which is all about Cynic, and he wants to talk about Killer Instinct. Big surprise, y'all, right?
Oh, well, you'll have to excuse me. Actually, for some reason, I thought that was going to be that slot when we were first looking into all this. I thought, like, I answered everything at once, and I thought that was the answer for our music or whatever. So I have, of course. I have, of course, in mind because, like I said, Microsoft handed this to us on a silver platter, but Microsoft bought Bethesda, which is huge news.
We're going to talk about that in story 3, so you and I will just merge our stories, and we're just going to skip level 1. We're just going to go down the warp pipe. How's that shit sound?
That sounds good, because Killer Instinct, it's been a long time since there's been news.
I
should have talked to you about it beforehand, because I didn't even realize what I had done until like just now.
To be fair, the level 3 story is large enough where it's going to take 2 sections to talk about the real, like, what Microsoft just did.
Yeah, so we're going to go to our next section then, which is my time to try to do a 60-second review of this Razer Kishi controller, y'all. And this is the best time to do it simply because cloud gaming just came out. So, for y'all who don't really know, I don't have a timer, so I'm trying to just make this quick.
Hold on. I will pull up a timer on my phone.
Because my phone's tied into my controller, so...
Hold on.
All right. And we are almost ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, I bought the Razer Kishi controllers. You guys can see.
You want to switch over to the main screen?
No, it is. You can see it already. I'm taking that time back, Pocky. You just confused me. Anyway.
Please take it back. Here, I got a timer. Go.
So, anyways, y'all, I bought the Razer Kishi controller because I've been all about the xCloud. We've talked about it many times on here. And this thing is absolutely amazing. It's portable. It comes right off of your phone very easily. And it folds up into a little box. It is 100% worth every penny you pay for it. Do not, however, buy the special Xbox edition that's $20 more, because there's no difference. They changed these little buttons to be the Xbox buttons, and they changed this to an Xbox button. Everything else is the exact same, y'all. Clickable thumbsticks. Everything is exactly the same. And now they're making it an iPhone version, but iPhone doesn't want to actually allow cloud gaming, so I don't know why. This thing is very rugged, sturdy, and it's going to help you really experience mobile gaming perfectly. My only problem is, one, it feels like a Switch, so I mess my buttons up because Switch does not match everyone else's buttons.
Fine.
And it's kind of weird if you're getting into gaming. It's a little fun.
Time.
Other than that, absolutely love it.
That is a nifty little piece of hardware. How many pennies is that worth, by the way?
It sells on their website for $70. If you sign up for the newsletter, you get $10 off any order. I got this for $60 on eBay, brand new.
It's not bad.
Oh, can I see Gavin now?
Huh?
That's basically the cost of a controller nowadays. So,
my only
makes
problem
sense.
is that it doesn't come with a case. I wish it came with a case. But I'm going to be talking about cloud gaming next week. That's pretty much going to be probably my story next week. Is I've been really putting this thing through its tests, and it's got ups and downs, but that's where we're at. So yes, Razor Kishi, I give it a 10. You guys got to go get one. But like I just said, they made an Xbox version that's the exact same, but it just changed the buttons to look like an Xbox controller. Like this one just says ABXY in the colors. But, I'm seeing some Twitch.
That's the same.
Yeah. It's...
Well, at least the Switch they may not match the letters, but at least they match the shape. And that's what really matters.
And the colors. So I'm very, very happy with it. I'm going to try to find a case just because throwing it in my backpack, this was like an expensive little piece of hardware. I don't want to have like drift problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was playing Minecraft Dungeons. So yeah. All right.
Pretty cool.
Should we just go ahead and jump to level 3 since we got Pocky's story around this week too?
So can we go back to seeing the crew? Because I'm still seeing secret level.
You should be seeing all of us.
Nope.
Cynic, what do you see?
I see all of you, all three of you. I'm on the bottom. You're on the left. Pocky on the right.
He's like not seeing us.
Hold on, I'm reloading.
Oh no.
Anyways,
okay. So you were saying we're gonna
there he is.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No. During the whole thing, during your entire review, all I saw was that when I said, "Can we go to the main screen again?" When you flipped over, I couldn't see anything.
Cynic and I saw everything.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that was just weird. So I had to refresh.
So here, in case you haven't seen it, Pocky,
I'm glad we're back to it.
That's what it looks like, and it just
that looks nice
because it just comes right off, and you're good.
Probably won't fit my phone though.
Well, no, it's universal. It stretches out.
One size fits all, man.
Results from a search.
And so it also has pass-through charging, so you can charge it while you play.
That's a nice little feature.
Well, no, I can talk about my news story if we want. I mean,
all right, so we're going to go to Pocky's story, which is something about Legend of Zelda. So we were all my layout this week.
Okay. No, it's fine because this actually still is cool. It's relevant. It also breaks up that we're only talking about one news story, so this is fine. Basically, out of nowhere, Nintendo Direct. It's like, hey, we're doing a mainstream Direct. And everyone's like, okay, so it's not a partner Direct. It's about your stuff, and they're like, add a new Hyrule Warriors game, and a new Hyrule Warriors game busted out. And it's all really cool. It's going to take place 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Very cool.
Isn't that when they put Link to sleep in Breath of the Wild? It was like 100 years before then?
So basically, no.
Didn't they? Something like that, yeah, because Zelda went to fight Ganon and Link went to sleep and then woke up 100 years later and somehow she's still in stasis or something. That was weird.
Yeah, like they just don't die in this game.
Nope.
No. So the thing is they talk about in flashbacks, if you play the game and you go through certain points of the story, that basically they had this giant war between Ganon's army and the King of Hyrule and all of them had a war. It wasn't just Link going off to the temples to save the day. It was straight up a war. And in doing so, the country is ravaged and all this, and they have the great heroes. Like, it wasn't just, the boy in the green suit. There were multiple people being the hero of their race.
You have the four heroes of each race, and so that's what it's going to be set in?
Yes. It's going to be that war made by Toei Tecmo, basically using the Dynasty Warrior engine. So it's
yeah,
a sequel to Hyrule Warrior. It's a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, but a prequel. It's not not a physical sense, but it's a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, but it is a prequel to Breath of the Wild.
I remember when Hyrule, was it Hyrule Warriors or it was the last Hyrule set in the Dynasty engine that I heard that really did really well, but it was kind of like set in its own little. It was like its own little deal, like kind of everybody came together in like a greatest hits kind of thing, and now they're making an actual like big story out of it. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I just wish Nintendo had a better online so we could do this easier. That's
So,
the
my
thing that stops me on these things is their online sucks.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, their online sucks. My thing is I'm really hoping for some interesting DLC because they show the king off, and I really kind of hope to see the king.
When you're just hoping for DLC, you don't hope it's all a part of the game like you love to preach.
Nintendo's giving us 6 characters right off the bat. So the 4 heroes plus Zelda plus Link. So yeah, that actually will be really good. I'm hoping for more characters later on. They also gave away a lot of their characters, so I'm hoping to see a lot of that giveaway again. Nintendo likes to give away characters just because.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a difference between how Nintendo does that too. So.
Hack and slash games like Dynasty Wars, I love. So I will be excited to play this one.
Definitely. Yeah. So do I. Dynasty Warriors was awesome.
You know what else kills me is like I stopped playing Breath of the Wild because it's like I'm not getting any achievements. I didn't feel like I was earning anything or getting anywhere. Achievements have spoiled me in games.
Oh, come on! You didn't like getting like I did enjoy playing Breath of the Wild and getting all of the what was it? I had to visit all the temples in order to get the classic green suits.
Yeah.
And oh my god, that was crazy. That was actual work.
But
I had like a map on my phone that had everything circled where it needed to be, and then I'd pull up the map and have to track it down. Like that was a pain.
Never realized you're not getting any sort of achievements for this, and been like, oh, that's odd. I mean, it feels odd to not get gamer achievements on Nintendo.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. The nice thing is that they do give you actual stuff, but my only problem is that if they gave you a special weapon for doing something like that, it's shattered into pieces, and now you no longer have this weapon that you worked so hard to get. That was infuriating. And you get the Master Sword, which is cool, but I mean, it runs out of energy, but it recharges. So, like, yeah, whatever weapon I collect is just going to be the weapon I use when I'm not using the Master Sword, because the Master Sword is just, it's overpowered and awesome, and that's what I want if I want to work hard to, what was it? You had to collect a bunch of hearts so you didn't die when you were pulling it from the stone. That was definitely fun and rewarding, but man, like that had some anticlimactic rewards. Like, of course, the little turd pile. Like, what an awful reward.
My thing is it's still relying on the old mentality of your achievement is the fact that you are more badass than your character start off that dungeon as.
Well, I mean, it's just weird because even Android games have an achievement system on the Google Play. Like, you don't realize how much that's ingrained into us now, so when it's not there, it's still fun, but it feels like there's just that something missing, that like bragging right that just goes to your gamer score, and you're like, yes.
I feel like when Xbox first started and achievements were like an actual thing, like I used to work at GameStop, and so I could rent games whenever I wanted. And some people would see my score and go, Jesus, man, you've got like a crazy score. And I thought to myself, I'm like, is that bragging rights worthy? I kind of have a leg up on everybody because of that, but I guess people really care about it. I don't hear people talk about it as much, but it definitely like had its like heyday when things first started, and it was kind of like used as bragging rights. And I'm sure it is now amongst like younger kids.
Well, it also gives you stuff, remember?
Yeah, and it still sounds nice when it pops up, and you're like, "Hey, all right!" Like that does feel nice.
I have to say it is the muscle car of video games. It's like my car is a 19. You hear guys talk about their cars and whatnot, and that's what this always reminds me of as achievements. Is like the I get to brag about things.
Well, now Microsoft has folded Bing Rewards into Xbox Rewards. So because Destiny's on Games Pass, I get 5 points a day just for opening Games Pass. And I've had Bing Rewards forever. I've turned in so many Xbox gift cards because that's all I ever use it for. But there's like all sorts of stuff you can get with Bing Rewards. Now every day I get lots of fun points just for playing Destiny, so I'm all excited. All right.
You get your free little bit of drug for your playing your drug game.
Well, that's what's 150 points a month. It's not too terribly bad. That goes towards your reward pool to buy whatever you want to buy with it. I hope they expand it into like digital items, but we'll see.
No, that's not bad at all. By the way, I did make a note to myself what I wanted to talk about last week, so it wouldn't just be. It's not just going to be all Bethesda now. The only thing I would have mentioned is that Streets of Rage 4 ended up getting a patch, and it was like a big patch, like a gig. I think it was about a gig patch, which for a game that wasn't quite, but a couple of gigs, maybe two. It's a pretty substantial patch. So they stabilized a lot of the online stuff. They balanced out a lot of the combat. You have your special moves have better startup now, more invincibility. So Streets of Rage 4 was awesome before, is now a whole lot more fun to play and less broken in Mania mode. So they also made some of the bosses a little bit harder because like playing that game felt a little broken, and then some of the bosses just felt like the later ones especially would feel way too easy, especially the final bosses. So they kind of buffed you, and then they buffed some bosses, and just balanced out the whole experience. So
pretty good.
Streets of Rage 4 is on Games Pass, and go play it because it's better than ever.
All right, so are we ready for? I've never really heard a rant from Cynic before. Like, I know when he gets started,
he never
started. So
you didn't realize I'm frozen, right?
You're not frozen.
You're not frozen. No, you're good.
If you need to go and come back, that's fine. Because right now,
you're looking
okay.
You're looking good, man. So I wouldn't. Yeah.
I have my stopwatch out. This is our 3-minute rant, where we're going to allow Cynic to just go to town about anything.
Well, we're not talking about Mortal Kombat, so I don't know if you're going to get too crazy of a rant from me today.
All right.
But, come on, I have set the bar at what ranting is.
Yeah, Pocky loves this. Is his favorite thing to rant about things. So
your
3 minutes starts.
You will rant about anything
now.
All right. So what I wanted to talk about, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a rant, but I did want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. And so since I covered Ghost of Tsushima before, I just wanted to kind of go in a different direction. And I actually went back just to have an excuse to play it again. I went back and started it on Legend mode. And Legend mode is, of course, it's the hard difficulty for the game. And it was absolutely ridiculous. You have to have lightning fast reflexes to play this game anyway, and to be able to dodge things at the right time, parry at the right time. It's a real pain. But in the main I would say, I guess, the main world, when you have the open world and you're going against just the normal Mongols, you're going against an encampment, your stealth, everything really comes in handy. And it's really not much of a challenge as long as you're careful and you manage your resources. But once it comes time to go one-on-one with somebody, it is ridiculously hard. And my wife actually sat and watched me play a character named Ryuzo, who's going to be one of the first characters that you duel in the game. And I kind of breezed my way through the game up to that point. And when I got to that, I just realized, oh God, it's really hard now because I had plenty of practice playing it before in my last playthrough, getting through stealth wise and finding out how to kind of kill an entire encampment without being seen. I love stealth, but when it came time to do the one-on-one, man, these characters are jacked. They've got several different unblockable attacks that are super fast, just lightning quick. And it's some of the most frustrating stuff. Like, you have to really be on your toes and waiting for the right moment to be able to parry them. And all of a sudden, they start the match with the fastest unblockable move they can, and it kills you right away.
Ooh, they just go right out for you.
Oh my God, it was so unbelievably frustrating. Like, it literally start and they'd hit me, and I would fall, and he went. There was some line he said, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but he would say this one line over and over and over again.
30 seconds.
And so Allie would go, like, will you make him shut up? Will you stop sucking? And I turned around to her. I'm like, honey, I'm actually mad right now. I'm actually mad at this game. Do not fuck with me right now. So eventually she went to bed. I had been fighting him for like 15 to 30 minutes, something like that. And I finally killed him, and it was so unbelievably rewarding to get through that. So going through and leveling up your character and going through that was so much fun. I kind of planned on talking about other games, just playing them on hard mode in general, but no time.
Hard mode.
Yes, Ghost of Tsushima on hard mode, completely different experience. So much fun. Definitely worth it.
A lot of hard modes are, though. Like, I hate when they tell you the hard mode and it's not really hard.
Well, it depends, because you can, like, one reason I was really wanting to go back is to see how I could build my character early on, because I found that going when I was partway through the game, I was like, oh, well, I've been doing all this stuff, and it's been kind of difficult. So I didn't realize if I had just kept like basically a bunch of side missions and some of the hard side missions that I'd been going through. And I told myself, okay, actually, if you just go through the story, there's a point where you get some abilities that make things a lot easier. And I mean a lot easier. So I thought, well, let me try that on hard. And it really worked out, because, man, things got so much easier once you kind of build your character. The rest of the game, even on Legendary, is kind of a breeze. But the thing is even if you're overpowered, you make one mistake, somebody hits you, you're done. Yep, I love that.
So let's get to the unexpectedly large bulk of our topics today, which I call Please Remain Calm. Now, I'm doing this because this has been a very intense 2 weeks for gamers. You had the PlayStation announcement, dropped that day to pre-sale, went crazy. Xbox said you can pre-order on Tuesday. Amazon announced today their cloud gaming service, which I don't understand who it's for, because gamers are on consoles, period. It didn't work for Stadia. What the fuck makes Amazon think it's going to work for it? Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that really shook the world, and we've already talked about it, is let's see how smart Xbox was, because they bought ZeniMax Media, and they announced it the day before Xbox pre-orders went live.
Yeah, that takes some guts right there, man.
So we officially get the Master Chief Doom Guy crossover.
He's been wanting that. He has been wanting that. He has been talking about that in our chat. Yes, I think it is.
At the very least, there'll be a Doom Guy skin in Halo Infinite. Like, that's probably the safe chance that's going to happen.
I think this is a major game changer, because Pocky called it a couple weeks ago. Xbox is about changing what next-gen gaming isn't about systems, it's about experiences. Right. And I read this article today that said Sony's being very anti-consumerism with how they handle the Spider-Man thing. Did y'all read this? Yeah.
They're pulling in control. They're pulling in control with this. And control's got to bit them in the ass. So Cindy, do you know about it?
No, tell me about it. So,
okay, here's
the premise just by itself. I can.
You may have to correct me, but let me try to simplify this as much as possible. if you buy Miles Morales on PlayStation 5, you can get a remastered version of the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man for free.
Right.
But if you buy, but you can't just get it for free. You either buy it or get it with Miles Morales. And Miles Morales is on PlayStation 4. Okay, Pocky, I'm already confused.
Okay, basically,
This was the most confusing sentence I've ever read today.
Obviously, you didn't know. It's not the most confusing sentence. What it is it is the most it is almost the most anti-consumer product sentence that I've read in the last couple of weeks. But Nintendo keeps beating them to it, or at least a couple other companies. Basically, what they said is if you currently own Spider-Man, because or in the Game of the Year edition, so you own the first time you bought it. You bought all the DLC for it, or if you bought the Game of the Year edition, which comes with all the DLC, congratulations, you have it for the PS4. If you want it for the PS5, you're going to have to buy it for the PS5, or you're going to buy the Miles Morales edition, which will come with it, but it's going to cost you extra. So in layman's terms, Sony went Nintendo.
It was the way that they presented it, though. Like, it was a confusing 2 paragraphs that Twitter just could not handle. They worded it real loopy and real sketchy, and
they confusopoly it. Is what there's a term called it's called confusopoly.
Yeah,
and
confused me. And the article I read today was also saying they backed out on the promise of we're all about generational consoles, so you can only play on this console. They're going backwards with things, but they're losing content to everything ZeniMax. Xbox will make it, if nothing else, at least console launch exclusive for a while. But some people say they would just be ridiculous not to release it on PlayStation. That's just money. But they're not worried about that as much. So I know these games will get to PlayStation, but it's going to be a little while. And that's a major shift from, ooh, we want to play these two. Here's some of gaming's biggest fucking franchises. And come play them on Games Pass.
Yeah.
So to me, the difference is they can release them simultaneously at the same time. They give you your PlayStation, give you your Xbox at the exact same time. But the difference will be is when Microsoft talks about it, they're going to say, you can buy it for $60 on PlayStation 5, or for $15 a month, you can play it in any of ZeniMax's current and previous generation titles, including anything that Bethesda owned and made at the time.
Well,
for $15. So $60?
I think they're going to go for the launch window exclusive of whatever it is. Because they said they're going to honor the 2 exclusives that were launch windows for PlayStation 5, which was Tokyo Ghosts, I think, and that other one, Deathloop. And the other one I'm interested in is the Ghost Hunting Tokyo one.
Really? Deathloop looks great.
Yeah, but I hunting Japanese demons, come on, we're on fan service. Harley and I are going to go find butthole demons. That's
pretty cool. That was one of the coolest trailers that they showed during the Xbox showcase.
And so it has been a major 2 weeks, but because the rumor was going around that they're trying to buy Bungie. And I think that was a decoy that hid their real target of ZeniMax Media. Because why would they want to go buy Bungie? They already had them.
They had them.
Left.
Yeah.
And they're not, they have Destiny and they're working on a new IP, but there's no need for that. When you want to really say, hey, we're about next-gen gaming, fuck it, we own Fallout. We own Skyrim. We own Doom. Come on, people.
Wolfenstein.
Yes. And
so for me, what really it is Sony is also not Sony. Microsoft has been a lot about giving consumers getting them to get. I said it recently, they've been trying to get consumers good quality experiences, and I think part of it is they can't do worse. Look at Fallout 76. Look at Fallout 4. Look at the new the Twin Bloods video game, which was an always online experience also, or if it wasn't online, the AI was really, really stupid, so you desperately wanted a real player to play this.
I don't know though if y'all would start that sentence, which they couldn't do saying that Fallout 76 you couldn't do worse than Fallout 76.
I think
though.
what he's saying is the biggest joke about Bethesda is they released a game full of bugs. And
True.
No, it's not even that. It's they've stopped making games. If you look at Elder Scrolls Blades, which has all got these gigantic timers and these microtransactions, and you have to pay for level increases because otherwise you're going into random dungeons.
What is that, a mobile game?
Yeah,
no, it's also on the Switch. Weirdly, they also put it on. They also put it on. I think it's on the PS4. It's on just. It was started off as mobile, but then they moved it.
Okay, I know it was on Android for a little bit, but yeah.
But also 76. Bethesda was surprised people didn't want to turn that into a Fortnite video game. They wanted it to be Fortnite. Literally, they were surprised people weren't doing as much PvP as they were. They made a crappy game and called it Fallout. If you look at Wolfenstein, the Twin Bloods game, that new one they released, it's god awful. It met with really bad reviews.
I actually managed to have fun with that game. I mean, it's got a good solid foundation on it, but man, it didn't hold a candle. Didn't even hold a candle to the new Colossus or the first one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I love Wolfenstein. I did not bother with that new one though.
But that's what I'm saying.
The new Colossus was really good, but Youngblood. I'm trying to look up Youngblood. Yes, I actually played it because it was on Games Pass, and it was fun, but it just wasn't on the same level. But I mean, that's not to say they couldn't. I mean, Quake Champions is still going to be kind of on the way. Elder Scrolls.
Quake.
Yeah, Quake is making a comeback.
Think about that one.
Yeah, Quake is making a comeback, and Elder Scrolls is coming back, and apparently Wolfenstein 3 is getting a full release. I mean, we'll see. I'm actually looking up a list to see what's kind of up and coming from here, and as long as they put enough resources and time into those games, they're gonna be good.
But here's the thing: Xbox is really about cross-platform multiplayer. So I hope they start implementing those things because I would love to play the Doom campaign with you, which is why I haven't bought it because it's a single-player game. I know there's multiplayer aspects, but I like to play games with people.
Yeah.
I think they're going to start introducing more multiplayer aspects to things, and they may be like, hey, if you want it on PlayStation, you're going to have to open up cross-platform play. Because now they're holding all these cards, and they're trying to change the way people game because they just want you to game. It's not the best on phone right now because, like I said, Switch is made for mobile all over the place, whereas these dense Xbox games can be kind of hard to see on a small phone. But it works, and it's lots of fun. And I didn't see it coming. And now everybody is speculating, and the next speculation is they're buying Sega. And I hope to God they buy Sega.
I don't, actually. I will say this. If you take Sonic the Hedgehog out of Sega's equation, if you take Sonic and you put it right above Sonic, like above his screen, you get it out of sight. Sega is an awesome company that makes nothing but high quality titles, minus Sonic.
Oh, well, Sonic is hit and miss. It's a lot of very good. Sonic Adventure was good. I don't remember Adventure 2. Some of those Sonic games in the meantime were bad. Sonic Generations was fucking amazing. Sonic Mania is amazing. So
here's Sonic Boom was awful bad that they had to apologize.
Sonic Colors wasn't though.
But that was and every time they get a new company and a company that makes a good game, they don't let them make a new game. They get another company and then they the guys that they got to make Sonic Mania are not going to make another Sonic game because Sega only lets them do one Sonic game.
But here's the deal. Imagine Microsoft backing Sega. They have some of the best franchises they could revive. It could go back to the glory days of the Genesis and Tom Kalinske time when it was just hit. They were on fucking point.
Are you talking about hit after hit after hit that they already have?
I'm just talking the creativity behind Sega and what could possibly be if they had their shit together.
They do.
They don't have their shit together.
They do. Are you just focusing on Sonic?
No, I am focusing on the overall picture. Because Sega is very much Sonic with it. You cannot just take Sonic out of the equation.
Yes, I can. Because you know what their real flagship title right now, the one that's making
Persona.
them all. No, and I wish it was.
It's Yakuza and Persona are up there, which are good.
Mm-hmm.
But remember when they were creative and that juices were flowing, the amazingness we got. Like we have this Valerian Wonderland coming out, which I am completely curious about.
Yeah.
Bring me more fun from Sega. Bring me more of that. Microsoft, buy them. Fix it all. Give me a new Space Channel 5. I will die a happy, happy man.
Okay, wait.
You mentioned Yakuza, by the way, and the funny thing is I think one of the reasons that game, I wouldn't say that it's getting a revival because, I mean, it was kind of on my radar before, but it wasn't getting nearly talked about enough. I haven't heard actual talk about Yakuza until it was put on Games Pass. So I think
it was way before that because
I'm not saying I'm not saying it wasn't popular. I'm saying it wasn't on my radar or being I feel like talked about in the over. I'm being playing video games and worked at GameStop for a long time, and I would see Yakuza there. And I would see it not move off the shelves. I didn't hear anybody talk about it within my circle of friends back then. I didn't see articles getting written about it. And now I'm seeing Yakuza playthroughs, Yakuza 0. Everyone was talking about it. The new Yakuza 7 is coming out. So I think Microsoft breathed a lot of life into Yakuza by just presenting it on Games Pass and going, hey, this thing has been presented to you. You may have seen it on the shelves and may not have played it.
But Games Pass.
But
here it is. I have to point out, Sony gave away 1 and 2 for free also.
Yeah. It's not a minor game.
It's not a minor game, and trust me, there were a lot of industry talk when they announced Kiwami, the remake. Trust me, people lost their shit, particularly when you're talking about a PS2 game.
Hold on, Pocky. Here's the difference. These are very Japanese games as opposed to very American games, as what we're used to. Which is the other reason why I think it'd be smart, because Sega has a giant Japanese market. And it would help over there more and help bring some of those over here more.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my points, is that Microsoft is very much an American company, and when it comes to Xbox, you don't get a lot of Xbox outside of America. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's not nearly as popular, especially in Japan, where Sony and Nintendo kind of just own the markets down there. But there's no Xbox, so hey, if Microsoft bought Sega, which is primarily a Japanese company, that would be pretty massive.
I will also point out that Sega has the proprietary rights to anything Games Workshop, so all the Games Workshop games are theirs. So all the Warhammer, all the things. I also point out to you that they also made Alien Isolation games, and also all the Bayonetta games, and all the So they
could make some amazing shit if they had someone who wasn't crazy in charge.
No. As long as you ignore Team Sonic, you look at all the titles they're producing that are currently.
You can't just ignore Sonic as much as you hate it. There are a bunch of jokes about Sonic. The fandom is giant, and if they could get someone to fix the games and fix the course of Sonic, I think would be okay.
But that's ignoring less than 1% of their title structure.
When you say Sega to anybody, the first word that comes to their mouth is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, you say Nintendo, the first thing everyone thinks of is Mario. And again, that's ignoring half the titles. That's ignoring 90% of the titles.
I think it would be a good move. I hope they announce it, because they've got a bunch of secrets up their sleeve, and I don't know what they all are. But outside of Xbox and Bethesda, y'all did see the Amazon announcement today, right?
Yeah, I saw that and I giggled.
So, for those that don't know, Amazon did their big tech thing today, and they revealed their own version of Stadia.
Yep.
It's got its own controller. You pay $6 a month for access to some games, but like on Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to studio channels. And they announced the Ubisoft channel. So if you subscribe to the Ubisoft channel, you can play games on it. And I'm like, so basically you're just going to build up this massive thing of channels for a service that nobody really wants because Stadia is on its last legs, which is a shame because as a service, it's brilliant. It's super fast and it works, but they have Amazon saying,
you mean it's the thing that I fucking predicted?
Fuck you, Pocky.
I'm sorry that I looked at this and went, God, this is bullshit.
It is, because we as gamers don't want to adapt too much. And it was made for casual people to come in, and casual people play mobile games. Gamers play on a console.
It wasn't made for them either.
It was. It was made so anybody could play games anywhere. But when you have Games Pass, killed it. You had xCloud, people that were coming in, was kind of killing it. I just wish Google would shut up shop, merge with Xbox, and do the cloud gaming they had, which was super smooth and super fast, with what Xbox has, because Xbox is a little something to be desired. I'll talk about it next week. It works, and I can play things, but it's nowhere near as smooth as Stadia was.
So difference is, one is in beta that's still being worked on. The other one is complete.
It's not beta. It's been officially released. It is.
Well, if you go to their buying it for $15, that's still in beta. So I don't know. Okay. So either way, one's also a year plus old and has gotten a chance to get all its kinks worked out, and the other one hasn't. And
well, I have no doubt that it will, but I also think cloud gaming isn't for mobile phones; it's for consoles.
I agree with that. I can see that.
I think the phones is a nice side product, but I think next gen is actually consoles like the Xbox Series X built for high-speed cloud gaming. I think that is what true next gen is, so that we're not going to get these weird console loops and hard drive issues. And yeah, so I was looking at all the Amazon things, and I was like, really? This was your announcement today, along with the flying drone security camera for your house? Like, you want to do this still?
Like Texas, and when they announced that, I just saw some hillbilly going, "The government's coming after my stuff."
Well, I was just like, did a year of Stadia not tell you that maybe don't do it?
No. It's the
times you tried to release those Android game boxes tell you shouldn't do it?
The only thing that might turn this into Amazon's favor is that there are so many Amazon Prime members right now already. If there is some sort of tie-in to Amazon Prime that you get some sort of big discount for the different channels or anything like that, I think that might be the only thing that makes people go, let me try it out. Let me give it a shot, because the whole thing is that, yeah, these things might work really well, but the marketing is awful for it. A lot of people don't know the difference between Stadia and anything else. They hear Stadia and then they see some games, and it could very well be the game company that makes the games. Like, some people just don't know. They're like, all they have in their heads is these consoles, and I don't know how many people are looking at these Stadia commercials and really having it sink in.
We're done. Like,
they still play, but I think they haven't fleshed it out for people enough. And so I think that, man, Amazon really needs to market this right, or it will get no traction.
Well, I laugh when you say they don't recognize things, because the other funny thing was sales of Xbox One X skyrocketed on Tuesday because people were buying the wrong system because it was more confusing. So I can see people looking at this and thinking Stadia, but like I will log into Stadia Destiny every now and just to see who's there, and it's not a ghost town, but it's not really populated. Nothing's really changed on the Stadia front. like I had said, I honestly hope they were just going to partner with Microsoft and do it that way, but they did their own thing. And I was all on board at first until time was going on, and you all know the whole saga because we talked about it on the show. But this one, I just see crashing and burning.
Well, let's hope not. I'm sure people put a lot of time and money into it.
Because it's causing too much confusion now.
Mm.
There's four. You've got PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. You've got Xbox, Series S, Series X. You've got Stadia and this, I forget what they call this Alexa thing. And they all have their own controllers. And so if you got some grandmother going to the store trying to buy for her grandkid, she's completely lost. You have parents who are already investing in consoles. Why are they going to invest in this Alexa thing? Why are they going to invest in – because their kids have the consoles everywhere. You've got actual gamers who like controllers and like consoles that won't give them up, but they're okay with putting a cloud and playing on the cloud on their phone or on their console. You've got people like Pocky who they have to have the physical game because they don't trust the digital side of things.
Oh, gee, it's not like games vanish.
And then, you know, with the way Amazon's going to structure it, they're going to nickel and dime it. There's this channel, there's that channel. Like before we knew it, Philip had like $60 worth of channels on Amazon. I was like, you don't need them all.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of them because, it's $5 here, $5 there, you know, whatever. And it just adds up. And so I don't see any actual people outside of Ubisoft maybe backing this. Like, I don't see a Konami channel. I don't see a Konami channel.
Titles.
Yeah, I think Ubisoft is like, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do this because what the fuck? What are we going to lose?
Maybe we can have people ignore all our sexual assaults.
You cannot judge an entire company based on a few people.
I can fucking do that. And I can also blame the president of that company for ignoring and having the HR department block every motherfucker and telling them to harass and physically threaten their employees.
Okay, yes,
complaining.
You can be mad at them, but that's not the entire company. That means
was the head of the company and its entire creative staff.
They didn't change that. So
they're not going to change it because the owner of the company is in charge of it.
Then, you know what? Then the people quit. And you move on.
They did, and they were blacklisted in the country, in the industry for it.
That's a much deeper problem that we'll talk about some other time. If they're blacklisted, their studios won't hire them because of the Ubisoft shit, then it's something that's much more widespread. And that's the issue that needs to be addressed. Not just let's blast Ubisoft, it's let's blast everybody.
We're blasting all the companies, sir. We're doing a really good job of it. Like, everyone who actually cares about how the people in the industry are treated are blasting all of them. Just right now, Ubisoft gets to be the head of the chopping block.
But is it stopping you from playing video games?
It's stopping me from playing anything Ubisoft, including the game that I was looking forward to.
Okay, but what about other games that are from studios that are probably having the same problem that you just don't know about? I mean, if it turns out to be like this mass rash thing, you're not just going to stop playing video games.
It's called indie developers.
I'm guaranteeing you some indie developers are probably just as bad.
Probably. I absolutely love, by the way, Gavin, how when Pocky gets very emotional, you don't mind just stamping and stamping the flame out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we try not to go down certain roads because we need to go down certain roads, but we need to plan these certain roads.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, when you start talking about stuff like that, you start having to think about, we're getting political, which sexual assault shouldn't be political. That didn't make any sense.
I'm not worried about going political because if I say something you hate me, you're entitled to hate me, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. And I'm not saying Ubisoft is right.
I know what you're saying. I think what you're saying is like not every Ubisoft employee is going to be like this. Like, this isn't representative of the entire culture. But when you have the head of the company, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, when you have the head of the company and the 5 major guys, including the guy who made Assassin's Creed,
which
physically rape a woman and drug her, and then have the company pay to shut her up and threaten her physical violence to her if she doesn't take the money.
Now here's the other subject, and it's just we have to go and actually understand why this happened and every detail about it.
Yeah, that's my only problem is like I can hear this horrible story and I'm like, actually I haven't read about this story. So
It's like we
it's-
have to be informed, and we have to come up with a plan, because what if it is in everything in the gaming industry outside of maybe Warcraft? Maybe they're the other ones who are like squeaky clean, but
what? You mean Activision?
oh no, we know they're not clean.
Activision runs Blizzard.
Yeah. So
There's-
it's
the
also
AAA companies
where
are
you draw a line
horrible people.
between the artist and the art. Like I get trashed because I like the Jeepers Creepers movies. I didn't know anything about this guy when I watched the movies. I like the creature design. I like the movies. Well, you shouldn't like them because he had so I guess they called him a pedophile. He did something wrong. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
you know what? I still like the movies. I don't
You know,
like him, but I can still like the movie. I love Beyond Good and Evil. It would be hard for me to not go back to that game. It is an Ubisoft game. I do own it. But where do you draw the line between an artist and the creation? Are you allowed to like something without liking the person who made it?
It is the difference between a movie and a game is this. A movie, when you have an actor on set and they've done something bad, yes, you can ignore it because everyone else attached to that set is part of this thing. You can get to the artist. The problem with the gaming industry is the companies themselves who make these games happen do such horrible shit that you have to go and not.
I don't know if there's a big difference, to be honest with you, but I would say this. Like, let's say, actually, the Jeepers Creepers example is really good because I love Jeepers Creepers 1, and I remember watching Jeepers Creepers 2 in the theater, and I loved it at the time, and I was looking forward to seeing Jeepers Creepers 3, and unfortunately, I heard this dude was kind of a dirtbag and had, that he was a pedophile or there was some sort of sexual assault stuff in there, so I didn't see Jeepers Creepers 3. And I haven't gone back to watch 1 and 2. I don't mind sitting back and saying, dude, I loved 1 and 2. And unfortunately, haven't supported the series since. It just is what it is. So I think you definitely can separate the art from the artist. I just definitely wouldn't support that artist in any way after that.
Yeah.
But the gaming industry is relying on like crunch and unpaid overtime and unpaid wages. The fact that we just had a news story break out that Focus Entertainment is going to be is having to deal with lawsuits right now because all the artwork in this sprite models they used for a trailer for a video game was used under freelance work, and they didn't pay any of their freelancers, so the artwork is technically all stolen.
See, yeah, we have to wonder.
Stuff like that. There's definitely stuff like that in the movie industry, the music industry. The key word is industry.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, the thing is that gaming is art, and so when you take someone's art and you have to sell it, the key word is you have to have an artist and you have to have a bunch of people supporting that artist, and the problem the problem is just accountability. If there is some solid, if there's a solid history of accountability within the industry, I think that leads to some type of prevention. I mean, it doesn't stop it, but it helps. It could help prevent it, and it could help punish people who do stupid crap like that.
There is no accountability of the gaming industry right now. Their HR departments are linked to the heads of companies.
I just want to know, how do we let it get this far?
Because the phrase
because you mentioned Ubisoft, Gavin.
No,
you mentioned.
I'm talking about how do we let the industry get this far for so long? How did it fall this way? But we're not going to get into this discussion now. We're going to do a DLC about this soon.
Okay, yeah.
Because we have other things that we need to go do, and this is a very heavy topic that we'll need to find some guests for.
I was going to say, this got real heavy real fast.
Because
I am sorry but I wasn't expecting this. I do apologize.
No, I mean, it's okay.
There's no need to apologize if we're talking.
It's how deep is this going to, like, we're going to have to explore how deep it's going to go. Are we going to be able to continue doing the things we love? Why has it not, like, there's a lot of things we need to address with this. It's more than just a passing conversation because there's always more to it.
This could be a whole it could be the subject of our podcast.
It's going to be a DLC episode.
That's how deep it would go.
I will say this: Jim Sterling and Young Yi, all they do is multiple videos a day talking about the bullshit news stories that are coming out of the gaming industry.
But see, here's the other thing: you cannot take any of these news stories online at face value anymore. You just can't. We live in a snap judgment, things taken out of proportion. I'm not saying these were. I'm just saying, when you want to talk about news stories you find online, you got to be real careful.
You got to make sure to do your research, but also, again, the key word is industry, and so if somebody were on the outside, not a gamer, and looking at us and going, oh well, all the people who play video games are idiots, and all the people who make them are sexual predators. That would be that would be an incorrect assumption as far as we know. We're pretty deep into it, but
all right. So with that, we're wrapping this episode up. You've just been preview to a DLC episode we're going to be coming, and it won't be timed. We're going to find guests. But I'm also here to say that I'm going to be doing an actual official Destiny show with my Destiny clan. We're going to be meeting in October and filming a pilot, so you guys will be able to see that. I've always wanted to do a show. Super excited. It's going to have jokes. We're gonna interview stupid people. We're going to have lots of fun. We've been planning it for about 4 weeks now. Really excited. And then Pocky has some projects I hope he's going to be getting up and running by January. Her and Courtney. So that should be fun. And we have Brad's Run Web Tuesdays and fan service on Wednesdays, which you never know what's coming out of our mouth with fan service.
Never.
So that's been it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I just keep thinking, I just found out today on fan service we're doing 4 weeks of pumpkin spice, and I'm not looking forward to that because that is the one segment of the show that broke me and Harley, that I almost peed myself laughing too much, and they're going to torture me for a month. Pumpkin spice. Screw you guys.
We found Cynic. When we get off the air, I will tell you.
No, tell him now. Just tell him now so people know.
Pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
Why are you telling me this?
Because it exists, and Kraft is selling it for a limited time, and I am sending a box of it.
This isn't some janky recipe you guys are talking about.
God, if you sit into my house, I will make Harley come over here and film the episode with me, and we will sit at this table in this fucking studio and eat that shit live.
Why? Why would you do that?
Why wouldn't we do it?
It doesn't sound. I mean, it doesn't sound pleasant. It sounds anticlimactic and slightly unpleasant.
No,
it sounds underwhelming in every way.
That's the nature of fan service. You never know what's going to happen. Our mascot is a butthole demon, so fan service is our late night adult pop culture show. Like, it's fucking crazy.
I mean, at least one episode, at least in every episode, we've talked about porn in some form or fashion.
My favorite was Pocky talking about the Attack on Titan porn and how we reenacted how they ran with their genitalia swinging around. Like,
oh, that's not good.
I even asked Jessica if she was going to dub the voice of that character.
If you haven't watched our other shows and you like video games, you'll like the comic book show Brad does. It's amazing. You'll love fan service because it's batshit crazy, and we have more coming your way. So we're done for tonight. I am doing raids all weekend, so you'll probably see me streaming for a little while. And we're good to go.
I'll be streaming too.
So that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go to Kaiju Labs Media for all the fun things we have, including a schedule, so you'll know what's coming up. And yes, you will see a DLC of us arguing about the gaming industry and how fucked up it is.
It's pretty fucked up.
I love her face. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I would